Welcome back to Talking Dragon Age, the show where I talk about Dragon Age. In this episode, we're investigating Leliana. Oh boy, is there a lot going on with her. She's special, we know that. Leliana's mother worked for an Elysian woman named Lady Cecily, who became Leliana's guardian after her mother's death. Leliana grew up and met Marjolaine and became a bard. In this line of work, she met two good friends called Sketch and Tug. Leliana knows they were both spies, but was never sure for whom. Sketch and Tug have a lot going on themselves, but I'll get to them in other episodes. Strictly as it relates to Leliana, well, she's sure their meeting was not a coincidence. After Marjolaine betrayed them, Leliana was helped by revered Mother Dorothea to escape. After these events, she joined the Chantry. In Dragon Age Origins, she can be recruited and romanced. If the Warden defiled Andraste's sacred ashes, Leliana may attack the Warden and be killed. As in, dead. Regardless, she shows up later working for the new Divine Justinia, formerly Mother Dorothea. After the Conclave, she helps found the new Inquisition and serves as its spymaster. After that, she may even become the new Divine herself. Now, if the Warden killed her for some reason, even she isn't sure how she was revived. All she says on the matter is that she died and later awoke in agony. Then, at the end of Trespasser, if she was killed and did not become the new Divine, her epilogue slide says this. Eventually, Leliana became distant and contemplative, often secluding herself in the rookery with none but her ravens for company. One morning, the residents of Skyhold awoke to a great beating of wings and a vast cloud of ravens blotting out the sky above the fortress. Those who investigated found both the rookery and Leliana's chambers vacant, with only a single message left as explanation. The Lyrium sang thought into being. Now time is stale and the melody is called elsewhere. Until I am needed, I am free. Okay, so let's talk about this Lyrium ghost business. I feel the need to emphasize that the term Lyrium ghost is not official. The fans designated that term for this theory. And that's another thing. It is still a theory, and there are a few different versions of it. Short version? There was a ton of Lyrium under the temple, and so it stands to reason that there was also a Titan, which relates to some other theories, but sticking to Leliana, the Titan either revived her or made a copy. Maybe this truly is Leliana's spirit, which I'm more inclined to believe, or just the Titan remaking her personality from when she died. Though she did change and grow a fair bit between Origins and Inquisition. So either the copy can also grow and develop, or it's still her soul. In any event, the theory is Leliana only exists now because the Titan willed it. And that's the real question. Why? The Titan or whatever didn't make her special. It chose her because she was special. So let's talk about why she's special. We have this note from the alternate future Redcliffe. It's here we learn that Leliana is the most resistant to the Blight out of any of their test subjects. Oh, Maker's breath, more Blight stuff. Well, this is weird. This is regardless of whether or not she was killed in Origins and whether or not she was romanced. In addition to that, we have her vision. In it, she says there was a great darkness and she fell into it, or maybe she jumped. She says it was very distinct and felt very real. When she awoke, she found a white rose growing from a bush that was dead as dead could be. Was this a vision of the Maker, wishful thinking, or something more magic than holy? Not that it couldn't be the Maker working through magic to provide this, mind you. Let's ask the Guardian.
And you, why do you say the Maker speaks to you, when all know that the Maker has left? He spoke only to Andraste. Do you believe yourself her equal?
I never said that.
In Orlais you were someone. In Lothering, you feared you would lose yourself, become a drab sister, and disappear. When your brothers and sisters of the cloister criticized you for what you professed, you were hurt, but you also reveled in it. It made you special. You enjoyed the attention, even if it was negative.
What we have to keep in mind here is what Wynne says.
You framed the statement in the form of a question, yet you already know our answers.
So I don't think he's saying Leliana did make it up. He's trying to make her think, like a test of faith. Same way he questions the Warden like, did you fail this person? But the question remains as to why she's special. She had a vision, she was chosen by a Titan or something, and she has an innate resistance to the Blight. We know she's special, we know how she's special, but we don't know the cause. In my last episode about Andraste, I mentioned I had a theory about one of her possible modern descendants. Well, here she is. Now this ties back into what made Andraste special. In that video, I suggest she was possessed by a spirit of faith, but was that all of it? I don't think so, but I'm not sure what else was going on. The support for this theory that Leliana is her descendant is convoluted, I admit, but so is Dragon Age. And also, it's kind of awesome. So we have the fact that the Titan chose her. This Titan in particular is connected to another theory that's hopefully coming soon. But strictly as it relates to Andraste and Leliana, this Titan was right underneath the Urn of Sacred Ashes for years. So despite the Ashes' defilement, it's almost as if the Titan recognized her. Now that I'm thinking about it, the Guardian, what if he isn't a spirit but a projection of the Titan? Or perhaps another Lyrium ghost like Leliana? I always assumed he was a spirit based on the way he was able to read the party's feelings. I think I still believe that, but the idea of him being more directly connected to the Titan is interesting. Anyway, I also thought that maybe the Guardian saved her, but that doesn't really match with the epilogue. Unless... when she says Lyrium sang thought into being, she's actually talking about the Guardian and not herself. I still don't believe that, but that's a pretty cool alternative. She was chosen regardless. But I want to talk more about Lyrium ghosts. Like I said earlier, that's not an official term. In fact, it's already used in-game to describe Fenris and the abilities his markings give him. But more importantly, I think there is one other character that is a Lyrium ghost like Leliana.
You have found we. Take this gift. Do not falter. In the absence of light, shadows thrive.
Now, a few companions comment saying she was a spirit, but Cassandra is the one the Inquisitor actually replies to.
She was a spirit?
Now, we're unlikely to get a definitive answer on this lady, and I'm okay with that. The reason I bring this up is because if she is indeed like Leliana, that means both of the Lyrium ghosts we know of have worshipped the Maker. Twice is a coincidence, and 3 times is a pattern, but in lieu of any other examples, well... Now, I want to talk a bit about Leliana's father. Cheryl Chi, Leliana's main writer, has said Leliana may have the resources to track her father down and find out who he is. The only question is whether she would really wish to. We hardly know anything about Leliana's father beyond the fact that he probably exists. Some have speculated that he was an elf. I don't really have an opinion one way or the other as to her father's race, but I think and hope he'll matter more in the future. You know what? I bet he's Pythagoras. Yeah. So I actually think that's about it. This is a lot shorter than I thought it would be. If any new information comes to light, I may make a short addendum episode to talk about it. So be sure to send any information you find my way, whether it be in support or rebuttal. So quick recap, the theory today is that Leliana is a descendant of Andraste, and that's why so much weirdness happens to her and around her. Alternatively, it may have to do with her father. We don't know who her father is, but I sincerely hope he matters. If the Warden was a monster and murdered this lovely woman, she was most likely saved by the Titan, which has a theory of its own coming soon. She also has a natural resistance to the Blight. She also had that vision, which is debatable, but I think we should all agree that a white rose growing from a dead bush is not normal. And the fact that this happened right after such a vivid dream is... well, you get the idea. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember, Tala Nadas.